welcome to the video. Welcome to today's episode. Basically explain what's going on here. This is basically two Minecraft tour bases because one of them is Halloween themed and it wants to do for Halloween. Or like comparisons of before and after, because these are two different servers I played on, or realms more like with friends, and I am here to simply show them off with what I built. I thought I might as well, have YouTube for a reason out here at this platform to do it, which the base was inside of the cave. The first one here was a giant lush cave that spanned across all of these canyons, and that I built my base in. I thought it looked really good, and with the fact it had a mine shaft in here to actually build over and fix, which this was here was made part of the actual cave, which it is such a big cave. Like I literally could explore it for the next hour or so just talking about it. It goes past spawn, or at least connects to spawn, at like 800 blocks away from spawn. And now for the after. Now, the reason why I'm starting this far out away is because that way is to spawn. And originally, because this is a realm, it only had a month, and I was the one hosting it. But because of some complications, we were gonna host it second time, but then couldn't because Minecraft servers weren't doing good at the time, and we kind of just moved on to a new one, which is why this is like completely unfinished. I didn't fully finish the complete base, but I did do basically everything I wanted to, and it's just adding more and more to it. And here's stairways up into the actual base I made. And here is like the actual base. Well, it isn't actually the actual base. It still is kind of the walk up, but I kind of made this part bit of the base. And here are the two pets I have, Callie and Carl. Both C names, I felt like it. This is how I had built a whole bunch of rivers across the entire thing here, and leading into the cave itself over the bridge here before we got to spoil. To get in and out quicker, I'd built this waterfall right into it. You may notice how I did completely fix up the mine shaft here. I didn't place like actual minecart rails because I didn't want minecart rails here. I wanted them over there, that part of the base. I still kept the minecart rails. Chickens, I had that way later on when I started to get run out low on food. To be completely honest, I didn't know what I was going to do here. Originally I was building this. Over on the other side here, I had completely rebuilt everything here as well for the mine shaft, and added a whole bunch more to it. And here's actual minecart rail. This goes all the way back to spawn. I didn't finish here, but actually building minecart rails deep into the caves where I actually explored inside of to get ores and all that stuff. This was going to be the central hub for it. Here's another portal, which I didn't realize this automatically teleport me, but I barely finished me. How are you in there? Here was my just personal little room here. And for future reference, we see like this is blanked out part. This is because I use actual names of me and the people on the server. I just blocked it out. And then the chest room, where everything is sorted by stuff. Except for that, because I had placed everything I had on me in there when the server was ending, so just ignore that chest. And over here in this little corner was where all my tools were. Where all my furnaces, all of my extra stuff. I just placed on. I didn't use most of the stuff. It's basically just the furnaces and the crafting table and anvil. That was about that. The entirety of the first base. You probably clicked on the video because you saw a thumbnail, which I would say the second base is a lot more better in my opinion, because also something to take into account, this is like my first proper time playing Minecraft. Like I played Minecraft throughout the years, but it was mainly on tablets and creative modes or on a phone. This was the first time I did it on PC with actual other people in time to build stuff on it is pretty good. But I would say the second base that I made was a lot more better because I was better at the game in general by that point. And here it is, what you clicked for the video probably for. Alright, well here's before of the second base, because as you probably can see, it is a complete redo of a mansion that I did for it. And also the front here, which I'm also going to look at real quickly, alright. I mean, there isn't exactly the most amount of reason for me to show you the entire thing of before or of this mansion, because, I mean, it's completely redone, and I mean, it is a mansion. There's nothing special really to it, you know. Like the LA room, the tree room over here, the classic chicken chalky room over here. Some of these rooms I did redo in a bigger way. And lastly, this wall, which you'll see for later, this cave and everything that's here. That's the before of this space. And something else before I go to the after. I was just on hosting this server or realm, and I asked for the world download, but I still haven't gotten it. But the host still hasn't gotten to that, so I'm literally gonna be in the realm itself playing, and I was walking around, clearly the spectator mode or creative mode. And here's before, and here is the, and then here is the after of it. Looks a lot better, huh? I have to say so. Yeah, first we start with the side, where I was pointing out. First the side, where I was pointing it out. That's for this reason. Because I clearly redid this part, and of course added an entire basement here. I won't go to that quite yet. Alright, let's first start with the front of it, of course. Because this base is of course Halloween themed. Also, I first started building this base back in August. This was not like pre-planned or anything for October, or even for this video for this matter. This is me simply building because I wanted to make Halloween themed. But I think Halloween is absolutely sick and is completely underrated. What most rooms in here is upscaling basically the previous rooms that were in the actual mansion, like with the trees over there and the LA prison here, or at very least it isn't necessarily a prison anymore, where there's just some free roaming this little playground place with geodes all around. You got the center room here for going anywhere up or down any of the floors. Here is the mushroom room that they have normally inside the mansion that I upscale as well. And over here is a room to go in between the basement and the first floor here. Now also something else with this place is that there are a whole bunch of in-between rooms, or like just little extra rooms in between that kind of make up the entirety of the mansion, that make it how it is, if that makes sense at all. Because without these small little rooms here, it wouldn't feel like a mansion. It would just feel like a bunch of walkways with little extra rooms in between on the edges. So there'll be a whole bunch of little rooms here that are blocked out because I gave my friends, the realm members, personal rooms here, which is why there's also more blocked out names. Only 2 of them did anything with their rooms, but you'll be seeing a whole bunch of these. Moving on to the second floor here, where it's basically more of the same. So over here, we got the farming room, where I have a bunch of crops. It's basically the upscaled version of the crops room. Well, no, there wasn't actually a crops room, I don't think. Another personal room, little extra stuff. And over here is the planning room, or basically the upscaled version of just basically the meeting room of the mansion. And I had built the map here, which also I'd say, look at this. There's another looks so sick on the map. Also want some bookshelves and everything. And the trees, the pale trees, they require a lot more room than normal trees, which is why this part of the second floor is also for the first floor there. And over here is the bookshelf room. I did something a bit more with it. Now, I didn't want to move these somewhere, a chance to its own room, but I just haven't. As you know, it is finished. There are some little things with the base that I don't necessarily like, but I'm not gonna fix it now. Another personal room. Moving on to the third floor. That goes up to the fourth floor, and here goes up to the third floor. And you see a bit of that. I won't say what it is quite yet, if you can guess. Going into here as well. Here's the last personal room. And I think you can get a bit of an understanding of what type of players were on here are my friends, if that makes sense at all, huh? Now, in the third floor is almost smaller than the other two, so there isn't as much, but here is upscaled of the plant room in the mansion, and over this way is the chicken jockey room. How infamous this room has become. I just built, I would like to be a more upscaled version of it, but it is kind of just a pale oak version of it more like than anything. And that is literally it for the third floor, because that leads up to the fourth floor. I've released the roof, but I only have this here, so if you fall in between, you aren't completely stuck here if I had this closed at all. And of course, before moving on to the fourth floor, we of course got the basement, where there's a little walkway, the most deadly walkway possible, over to the pond over there, but also the main entrance to the basement. And as you can see, I completely mined out this entire place here of what was the wall of the mansion. And here's the stairways that goes all the way back up to the second floor and the first floor in the mansion. And over here, we got a little hot tub in this little corner of the room. That's some smoke rising from it to indicate that. And of course got another portal over there, which I didn't do anything with the nether itself, so there's no point even going in there. And over here, back near the entrance of it, as you saw a bit beforehand on the first floor, you can jump down here straight into the water, or use the actual walkway that I had built to go back up this way here. It's back over here on the second floor, another set of stairs here, and what would be the pillager's wolf face is now the pumpkin one, like the windows here. Leads up into here, into the fourth floor, or more like the roof, more than anything. And so the fourth floor is completely an add-on. Also, it's a lot more of a stairs for here, is keep on going up and up. There's a whole bunch of other ways to go that lead onto the roof, with at least the first two, and the third leads onto the second tower. And it's like all these towers don't even make the joke. And of course, the main part of the fourth floor here is purely meant to be my room, a place for me to actually stay. What is meant to be space when you look up. If you're sleeping here, it's got a good view of space and the window here. And we got the second tower over here, which I'll see what it actually is here in a little bit, see if you can guess yourself. But it is basically the storage room and crafting room. I built basically all of it into one. As you see, a bit little globe in the middle of the earth, or whatever earth this is, isn't actually meant to be our world itself in real life. We got another smile up there, seems to be another one of the pumpkins. Also, I didn't use pumpkin, or for the other fourth floor tower, the little eyes that pop out there. I planned originally using pumpkin, but I feel like I've been way too much orange, so instead I made it black glazed concrete, and I think it looks good, I'd say. And you head right on down here, way back up just in case you fall all the way down, and right down here back onto the roof. Basically a whole bunch of vines stretch out here in order to light up everything, so that no mobs will spawn on top of the roof. Yeah, that was a big problem that was happening previously. But that is basically it for the base. If you're wondering what the actual towers are, it's meant to be a candy. This one right here, which is how it goes up like that in its little spiral. And over here is meant to be basically a blooming version of it. Which, what can would be exactly, I don't exactly know. But if you enjoy a video like this, then if you want to see more like this, then expect like another one here in like 5 or 6 months probably. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please like subscribed. That was the entirety of the bases, more like. But this was all I had for Halloween. This is basically the Halloween video. So if you enjoyed it, please like subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.